Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's GeneralTarheel, your coach at Charizards, bringing you the P4G Next Generation Season 1 Week 3 battle versus Coach Ron2420 and the Calgary Infernapes. Now, if you didn't check out last week, make sure to do so, as we did face Coach Matt Oshai and the Montreal Milotics. It was an unfortunate loss, so we are sitting at 0-2, but hopefully we can change it around this week when we do face Aaron here. Aaron is sitting at a nice solid 2-0, so that's going to be a little hard to take him down. Hopefully we can get our first win and make sure to grab him his first loss. So as for this battle, the matchup was interesting. I definitely have to face an Aegislash, so that was definitely scary in the first place. As for Aaron's roster, it consists of Manaphy, Florges, Alolan Ninetales, Donphan, Incineroar, Stunfisk, Aegislash, Buzzwole, Crobat, Xatu, and Tropius, and he did draft the Ghost DMZ. So basically it's just Aegislash is a threat, and he even has a Roar go behind it, because if King Shield going into the bulky form of Aegislash, the shield form, just freely, if that wasn't annoying enough with its bulk, then it has a Roar Veil now to even like be able to stay in blade form and just abuse the offensive turns that it could use. So when I was going into that team build, I had to definitely try and work around Aegislash as best as I could. I had to be careful, of course, the Taillow, Manaphy, Scarf Buzzwole was definitely scary as well, and just small things like that. More so, it was just also trying to figure out how to break some of his Pokemon, such as Donphan and Florges, being very reliable and whatnot. So starting off with the team build, I will just go off with the Captain Kyurem Black. Holding the Expert Belt, we have 4 attacks: Ice Beam, Fusion Bolt, Iron Head, and Earth Power. Basically just solid coverage for his entire team. No need for Life Orb, since Expert Belt does give us, since I do have super effective coverage for everything, so Expert Belt's a little bit more helpful, and I'm not losing any health, considering I wanted to have 4 attacks. Excuse me, and not Roost on Kyurem this week. Next up is our new team member. If you do not remember, I did say at the beginning of last week that I draw to Mega Gardevoir from M.Diancie. So M.Diancie, or Suin, is making its debut here. We have, of course, the Diancie with Magic Bounce. We got Moonblast, Diamond Store, Earth Power, and Rock Polish. So basically, I was really expecting a Scarf Buzzwole going into this match, and there was also a chance he brought Crobat. If Crobat was brought, it would 1,000,000% have Steel Wing, in my opinion. So the only way Diancie could actually put in a lot of work is if it could sweep at one point. There's a few things I could definitely set up on with the Rock Polish, the Scarf Buzzwole and stuff like that. So Diancie was definitely going to put in work if I could get a team of Rock Polish up, or simply just use the attacks just to break apart Aaron's team. Next up is a defensive Nidoqueen. We have Poison Jab, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Stealth Rock with the Black Sludge. This is basically just a check to Scarf Buzzwole is the main reason. Absolutely eats hits from it, and then it also helps a little bit with physical Aegislash. If my Blastoise that you see on the screen needs a little help right there. It also helps me a little bit with the Crobat, I would say. Next up, I decided to bring Entei. This is Zuko, holding the Choice Band, Adamant, of course, Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, Sleep Talk, and Stone Edge. So I originally wanted Double Edge over Sleep Talk, but for some reason Double Edge isn't compatible. It's probably just with Sacred Fire or something like that, because it is a vent. I don't know why though, because Double Edge is a TM, so. But wasn't able to bring Double Edge. Double Edge would basically do a KO Manaphy if he tried to switch in on that, if he didn't have his Donphan, because otherwise Manaphy would be the switch in. But basically Sleep Talk also just allowed in case I had to face a Hypnosis Ninetales. This basically just allows Entei to be a counter to Ninetales always, because even if I come in on the Hypnosis, then I just get to click Sleep Talk, and basically I'm still going to get decent damage off on everything. It would only suck if I get like Sleep Talk, Stone Edge onto the incoming Donphan or something like that. So either way, I felt like that was a pretty neat tech that I could bring. And then next up is Lion Turtle, or Blastoise, with the ICMZ actually. We are holding, we have Scald, Flash Cannon, Brick Break, and Haze. We are a mixed defensive Blastoise. Basically, this helped me check offensive Incineroar, special and physical Aegislash as much as I could. Donphan and a little bit of Buzzwole if Nidoqueen needed some assistance and whatnot. Blastoise just put in a lot of work, and basically, Haze Z did allow me to get my health all the way back up, which is pretty free, which is really nice with Blastoise, considering its only form of recovery besides rest is just the general holding of leftovers and whatnot. So being capable of getting Haze in this match is very nice. Also takes less damage from like a knockoff Donphan if he opts to go that route and whatnot. Scald, of course, just to like hit everything. Flash Cannon does allow me to destroy the Alolan Ninetales, which will have Freeze Dry for me, which can be a bit of a nuisance. And it also allows me to hit floor just a little bit if needed. And Brick Break is there just because I'm not bringing Defog this week, so I want to make sure I have a way of getting rid of any possible screens that he might, or Aurora Veil they might put up with Alolan Ninetales. And then lastly, we have Giovanni, the Alolan Persian. Running an interesting set with Expert Belt Technician. We have Nasty Plot, Power Gem, Hidden Power Flying, and Dark Pulse. This actually cleans up versus his team if the Florges is done. I saw this like immediately. It does put a lot of work. Florges is legitimately the only counter to his team. Power Gem just hits things that Dark Pulse and Power Flying aren't hitting super effective. That's basically how it goes. Even after +2, I do knock out Donphan after a little bit of chip, which I can definitely get on Entei, or definitely get with Entei if that's his switch in and whatnot. So I was hoping the Alolan Persian could do some cleanup work if M.Diancie wasn't going to do it. So that was my thought process going into the battle. And when we did pull up for the battle, we do see he has Donphan, Manaphy, Aegislash, Incineroar, Florges, and Buzzwole. I was definitely expecting defensive Donphan, Spadef, maybe not Spadef Florges, but you know, like defensive and like Wish and whatnot. Tailglow Manaphy, wasn't so sure about the Aegislash. He did have a few options, whether they be fully offensive or more of a Spadef variant in order to take on Karen Black. $1,000,000% expected AV Incineroar, and Scarf Buzzwole is definitely what I was expecting coming into this. So I basically got almost all the 6 that I was expecting correct, so that was kind of good going into the match. And as we started off, I just wanted to lead Kieran Black because I felt like it had the best chance versus any of his leads. I really wouldn't see him leading Aegislash just because of the possible Nidoqueen lead. I was definitely expecting Donphan. It gives him rocks and it counters my Stealth Rock lead, as he does decide to lead the Donphan. Also, if he decides to lead Buzzwole, that's perfectly fine because I could just switch right into my Nidoqueen and then I get my own Stealth Rocks. So as we go into Kieran Black here, he does lead with the Donphan, which I did predict correctly, and he has to switch out here because even though he does have Sturdy, Terravolt will ignore that and Ice Beam will one-shot this Donphan. So as he goes into Aegislash here, it's pretty unfortunate as I get a, as we go for the Ice Beam, just felt like not making a prediction, and we do get the freeze on his Aegislash. Now, this kind of sucks. It was turn 1, so I asked him if he wanted to just go ahead and redo it, because I wasn't really happy with that, but he's like, nah, play through it, it's fine. So shout out to Aaron for being fine with all that. But just gonna go for the Earth Power because I will two-shot him here no matter what, as he does stay frozen. And he does it to the lefties, showing he probably would have been more of a setup Aegislash or something of the sort. But we're just going to be able to click Earth Power again and knock this thing out. I have no reason not to click it. Kieran Black doesn't really have switch-ins on his side of the field, so I'm perfectly fine just staying in here and getting rid of this Aegislash because this is a massive threat to my team, as it is to any team because it is an Aegislash. Now, as he will opt to go out into Manaphy here, I'm 1,000,000% staying in. I am just clicking Fusion Bolt. 1, if this is just offensive, he's going to go for Dazzling Gleam right here. 2, because I am bulky. If he goes for Tail Glow here, and then he wants to hit me with the Dazzling Gleam after, that's fine, because I am bulky. It does show he has the Wukong. I am still going to two-shot this, unless he's very, very defensively bulky. Which I wouldn't really expect him to be max defense bulk. But as we go for the Bolt Strike here, it does show that he has a lot of bulk, but the next Bolt Strike should still pick off this Manaphy, and if it doesn't, I can work around it where needed. So as I go for the Fusion Bolt, we do eat the Dazzling Gleam like I predicted because he is bulky. If he was more offensive, it would have brought me down a lot lower, but I made sure I could live a +3 Dazzling Gleam no matter what with Kieran Black with his bulk investment. As we do take out the Manaphy with the next Fusion Bolt. And now I'll just go into Buzzwole. Very nice shiny in my opinion, flexing on him and whatnot. So we're just going to switch out here, go right into Nidoqueen, our designated switch-in, and even though we do not have a move that hits this Buzzwole too strong, Ice Beam does do min 30% already, because Buzzwole doesn't have that strong of Spadef. He will just opt to go for the Drain Punch, of course, perfectly fine as we eat that. Once again, I'm just, like I mentioned though, I am only clicking Ice Beam right here. Doesn't really have a switch into Nidoqueen either, so this is very nice for my team. Does opt to go into the Florges. Now, since your Nidoqueen switching is a Florges, I'm definitely expecting like a a Kebuberry Psychic, but he does show he has leftovers. So I'm like, okay, I'm just staying in here. I'm clicking Poison Jab. You can have Psychic, but that's not going to two-shot me. So as he does go for the Psychic here, showing he has a lot of speed, because I put speed investment in this Nidoqueen to make sure he couldn't speed creep me. He put a lot of speed in that Florges in order to outspeed Nidoqueen. I'm just going to go for the Poison Jab, and we're going to almost knock this thing out. Psychic did a little bit more than expected, showing he might have a little bit more special attack invested, or he got it like almost max roll, and I wasn't paying attention too much to the calc. But I'm just going to opt Nidoqueen here, or opt to switch out Nidoqueen, because they do have a free switch into Entei. Really no drawback play right here in my opinion, because even if he does go for the Wish and get it back up, Florges is still not going to be at that great of health, and going for a Wish in front of a Nidoqueen is kind of insane. So he does opt to just go for the Psychic like I predicted. Entei takes that pretty well, as he will get more leftovers recovery right here. As he does opt to switch out the Florges, he will go back into the Donphan. I'm 1,000,000% just click Sacred Fire. No drawback play in my opinion. It was perfectly fine right here. As we do go for the Sacred Fire, doing over 50% of this Donphan, leftovers will put it just out of range. I'm pretty sure I got one of the higher rolls on that first hit, so I definitely didn't want to risk it once again. Even though he could just be going for Stealth Rocks right here, I just didn't want to go for it. I felt like going into Blastoise, which is my best play. Even though I do not have Spin on this Blastoise, he also doesn't have a Scald switch in, which is very solid. So as Donphan gets a little bit of his lefties, Blastoise is just going to stay in and click Scald. I'm assuming he stayed in and he just wanted to spam Stealth Rocks in order for a Kyurem Black to get weakened on switch in, as well as my Entei to take 25%. So, as he does opt to go into the Florges now, I do get to show that I do have some speed in my Blastoise, and I'm going to actually just knock it out with Flash Cannon. He probably figured he lived any hit with Scald. He gets a Wish and a Protect off, and his Florges is healthy once again. Not going to happen, as we do show that that was actually a speed tie he won versus Nidoqueen, because my Blastoise and Nidoqueen had the exact same speed. So it was actually a speed tie for that Florges and Nidoqueen as well as the Blastoise, which was pretty interesting. So he will just opt to go into the Buzzwole here. As he goes for a Leech Life, I'm just going to go for a Scald, see if I can get a burn. I can take one hit and still be a counter to Incineroar at this point, because I don't need Blastoise extremely healthy. Plus I needed to make sure that he wouldn't lock himself in the EQ on my Nidoqueen switch-in. So as I will just switch out here, I will go into Kyurem Black. I decided to make a really safe play here and just sack Kyurem Black to Rocks and get him my M.Diancie, because him locking himself into Leech Life basically just ensures M.Diancie can click Rock Polish and just sweep at this point. Because I am 1,000,000% no way Scarf. There's no other real reason he bring it on Kyurem Black. I mean, it would live any hit from Kyurem Black before, but at the same time, Scarf just has an amazing matchup versus me, and I really wouldn't expect him to have anything else. And if it wasn't Scarf, then I just won with Alolan Persian in the back. So I felt like this was a good play, and I could have went Nidoqueen. I could have went Nidoqueen, try and just wall him out. But at the same time, I really wanted M.Diancie to pick up these last few kills and try and work on the Rock Polish. In comes Shiny Incineroar and Switch-In, which I predicted, of course, because he has to switch out and lock himself into Earthquake for the rest of the match. So I'm just going to Mega Evolve with the M.Diancie. Such an amazing Mega. I'm going to go for the Rock Polish right here, as you do see the thumbnail quality. And we're going to get our +2 speed. So now we for sure just sweep his team. I invested this Diamond Storm to kill a max HP Incineroar, and we missed the first one. I'm like, okay, if he's a max attack Incineroar, this Earthquake is going to kill me, and I'm going to be very upset. Luckily, it doesn't. I guess it's just for the Ice Beam freeze, but at the same time, I offered a replay for that. But we do go for the Diamond Storm in the second turn, and we do pick up the kill versus the Incineroar. Get the defense raise, does not matter at this point, because I'm just going to be able to click Moonblast versus the Buzzwole and knock it out for the next turn. So M.Diancie will pick up 2 kills, Blastoise picked up 2 kills, and Kyurem Black to pick up 2 kills. So that was a very solid week 3. I am so happy that we can finally come back and pick up a win. Now we are 1-2 with a +1 differential after that nice 5-0 win. Hopefully we can pick it up from here on out, because I really was starting to get down about the losses that I picked up in this league, and I was really happy I could pick up this win. I'm just going to keep saying that. I'm just picking it up, trying to pick up our slack, from the first few weeks. So that'll be it from P4G this week. Make sure to check out next week, as we do take on Moxie Boosted and his something Black Fox. Chicago Blackhawks? Black Fox, there we go, that's it. That'll be an interesting game next week, so make sure to check that out. And as well as look forward to the AP this week, as they take on Kurt the Buzzwole and the Adelaide Absols. So that'll be it for me. Sub, like, share, deuces.